All right, welcome back, True Seeker. The big news today in the States, Trump signs the Laken Hope Riley Act. We'll talk more about that. But the even bigger news was RFK Jr. going through the confirmation hearings, which will continue tomorrow, where he is attempting to become the Secretary of Health. And of course, the big focus today was mostly on his history with vaccines. Considered a controversial man for questioning vaccines. And it's ironic because tomorrow we have a doctor appointment for this sweet little one right here. And again, tomorrow we're going to have to go make an argument with the doctors because they want to stick some little needles in her. And we think it's better if we wait until she's a little bit older. I believe for valid reasons, I don't consider myself an ignorant person or an uneducated person. Neither does my sweet lady. I used to work in an autistic children's home, and there's a lot of parents who have the same story that for the first year and a half, 2 years of their child's life, they felt their child was very normal and responsive and eye contact and recognizing the voice. And then after that certain MMR shot, seemingly a radical change in behavior, seemingly a disassociation with the parents, and the beginning of the road to what is known as autism. And you guys might remember that in 2012, if you went on YouTube, there were tons of videos, Jenny McCarthy and a million other people telling similar stories and why they thought parents maybe might want to look into what's considered modern medical day practice. Again, science in the medical industry doesn't have explanations for where SIDS came from or why autism rates have climbed to be so high, or a lot of things. The allergies, just tons of allergies, peanut allergies, crazy thing. If you've ever seen a child suffer from peanut allergy, it's a really scary thing. I mean, their heads just blow up like a balloon. I saw it when I worked in the public schools. I saw it happen in 2010. That's what year it was. This little kid named Jimmy. It felt like his head was going to explode, like it was Willy Wonka. He got an epinephrine shot and it came down, but just scary moment. Again, when I was a kid growing up in the 80s and 90s, nobody ever heard of peanut allergies. And, a lot's changed with the jabs. My parents' generation, born in the early 50s, they got a handful of jabs, a handful. Polio was the newer thing back then. And the polio jab, that is. And don't forget where they gave out the polio jabs for the first time. They gave them out at Arsenal Elementary School. Arsenal. It's like a military weapon cache. It's like Operation Warp Speed, a military thing. And of course, the military does do a lot of research with jabs, and the people who get jabbed the most in this land are military soldiers. You go overseas, they give you all kinds of jabs. And a lot of times it's decades later that they're admitting to these soldiers that they did things to them that were seemingly experimental, and, lives were lost and lives were changed. And that's another related story. But again, my parents' generation, they hardly got any jabs. I'm born in 83, and my generation, we got quite a few more than 5. I don't know exactly what the number was for my generation. It's probably between 10 and 15. But what's the number now? The number now is by the time you're 18 years old, you get 72 shots. 72. But according to the world of science, none of them could be causing any problems, even though it's this generation of children getting all those shots that are the ones having all the new problems that nobody ever saw in generations before. And again, censorship. Is censorship against people questioning these things proof that those people are whack jobs and their message isn't valid? Or is it more proof of a cover-up? Is it more proof of a cover-up? Think about all the videos taken down in the time of the scandemic. Think about how many channels I lost in the time of the scandemic. Tell me one thing I ever put out that was false. I actually forecast from the beginning when they'd wind down the scandemic. I showed why the lab leak theory made a lot of sense. It followed a very specific pattern that was all over the scandemic. That was the big 56 thing, like that lab was created in 1956 by the Jesuits who ran the whole scandemic. And then, of course, just recently, they finally confirmed it was true 56 months later. Go figure. But yeah, about the number thing. Hold on, let me adjust this girl. She's got it from her nap. And she only ate half of her lunch. I'm sorry, love. I'm sorry, sweetie pie. Any parents out there, you know, this girl, she turned 2 months on the 16th of January. It's funny, her eating habit. It's like, what is it, sweetie? She's been fussy about eating lately. I don't know what it is. I mean, she's on mama's milk, but it's like lately she doesn't want to eat her food. What is it? What is it, big one? What is it, big sweetie? Hold on. Let me get this girl comfortable. Let's get this girl comfortable. Are we okay? Okay. You know what's crazy is the way screens are. Technology, if a baby gets their eyes on screens, they're just like everybody else, they go into like a trance and they just want to look at that screen. But okay, about the number thing, this is what I want to say. Today is the first day of the year of the snake. Today's January 29th, 2025. And of course, the medical world uses the snake for their symbol. I always forget how you pronounce the word. I don't know if it's like caduceus or caduceus or whatever it is. It's related to Hermes, which is related to Mercury. Mercury's the trickster in astrology. Here we are on a Wednesday named after Mercury. So it's kind of fitting how the year of the snake falls on a Wednesday at start. And then you got RFK Jr., who loves snakes, you know, going through his confirmation hearing. Again, I showed this last night in case you missed it. Go back to his video that he put out on his channel on July 2nd, on 7/2/2025, or not 2025. Sorry, we're not back to the future. July 2nd, 2024. Go back to the video that RFK Jr. put out. It says RFK Jr., the snake. And if you watch the video, it doesn't make him look like a bad guy. Kind of makes him look like a little bit of a badass, how he captures snakes with his bare hands. But his hobby is that he loves snakes and he loves helping snakes that are trapped. And he has some footage of just what he does with snakes. But when I pointed out, I did a video on it July 2nd, 2024. I said, man, what a day for RFK Jr. to release a video called The Snake being part of the Jesuit Brotherhood. And again, think about that date, July 2nd, 7/2. Again, today he's getting grilled for hours about not being on board with the current vaccine schedule for children, which again involves how many shots? 72. 72. And again, not an arbitrary number. 72 demons in the Goetia, 72 names of God in Kabbalah. Again, with regards to the Jesuits, they venerate that number because it has to do with the sun. The Jesuits serve the Catholic Church. That's a sun cult. The sun moves 1 degree on the astrological wheel every 72 years. Again, you learn gematria. Jesuit order equals 72. RFK Jr. equals 72. Year of the snake equals 72. And again, his uncle once met with the Pope on 7/2 and then got smoked on November 22nd. Again, a span of 144 days later, like his father would die at 1:44 a.m., like how he'd officially get in the race 144 days after the Superior General's birthday. Remember how that whole Laken Hope Riley thing was synced with the Superior General? Last week, Congress passed the act on the 72nd day of his age. Now Trump signed it into law today. So that's another subject. But yeah, again, it was funny watching the RFK Jr. testimony because certain Democrats are grilling him on what is a perceived change in his stance on abortion. You know, he's like most lifelong Democrats. He's been pro-choice and switching over to the Republicans and Trump's side. He's kind of gotten to take more of a pro-life stance. But, you know, out of some of these Democrats' mouths, on one hand, you know, they're like, okay, aren't you still with the my body, my choice? Like, kind of like, you better still be with that, Mr. Kennedy. And then on the next hand, they're kind of like, you need to be on board with vaccinating everybody. And it's like, how do people not see the disconnect with this? Where's the my body, my choice in that? And for anyone out there is like, well, listen, when you're not getting vaccinated, you're making the public at risk. Hey, Smiley girl, do you agree? Do you agree, Big Tucker? I don't know if you can hear her right now. She's got a lot to say. But yeah, anyway, I mean, the thing is, like, nobody wants to put the public at risk. Everybody wants to do the best thing for their child. If I knew that vaccines were 1,000,000% safe and there was nothing but upside and positivity and there was zero risk, I mean, I wouldn't have any doubts if I knew that was the case. But the thing is, like I said, I used to work in an autistic children's home and I managed the place. And every parent who still had contact with their child, I shouldn't say everyone, but nearly every parent who worked there had the same story that Jenny McCarthy had. There's a lot of parents that have this story. And remember, YouTube used to be full of parents telling this same story. Again, their child was just fine until they got a certain shot, and then their behavior seemed to radically change. And the thing is, the medical establishment wants to come in and say all these people are unqualified, their opinions don't matter, they're crackpots, they're conspiracy theorists. But it's like, wait a minute. Untold numbers of people have this same story. Are we to believe that they're all just crackpots and their story's meaningless? Should we just take the authorities' word for it, who just shrugs their shoulders and says, you know, we don't know what it is. Could be a lot of different things, but it certainly isn't the shots. Couldn't possibly be the shots. Like, well, the only thing that's really changed a whole lot in this world is how many more shots people are getting. And I'd agree, there are other factors. GMO foods, I mean, that's another thing to look into. But again, the shots. And it was just like in the time of the scandemic. Oh, sorry, sweet. What is it, sweet girl? Got to change the position? What is it? Are we not moving around enough? I don't know if you guys, if for you new parents, if you ever wonder how to settle down your child, this one just, if you just start walking around, she just chills right out. But if you're like standing or you're too still, she just gets restless. I think someday she's going to be a track star. It's funny too, when we're in the car, if we come to a stop or a light, she just gets all disgruntled right away. Been having to run red lights for this sweet little girl. Good thing we live in a small town, but this one does not like to stop. But yeah, again, it's just, so like I said, tomorrow we have a doctor's appointment and the doctor's already told us that they want to put some shots in there. It's time for the shots. So far, she hasn't gotten any shots. We declined everything when she was born. And that's the thing too, just about by the numbers, the vitamin K shot. I saw Congress talking about this the other day before RFK. They had a nurse on saying that more and more parents are declining the vitamin K shot. This is a serious health risk for the populace. Okay, you guys, I want you to look up the official stats on vitamin K. K is the 11th letter of the alphabet. Look it up right now anywhere from an official medical source. It's going to say 1 in 11,000 children will die because they don't get the vitamin K shot. 1 in 11,000? K, the 11th letter? Again, I try to put people onto this occult knowledge because, again, the occult pretty much run the medical world. For people who think that's some loony crackpot idea, look into it. That powerful secret society out of Yale, Skull and Bones, that identifies by a number, Order 322. Look into how many hospital chains originate from Skull and Bones members. Look at how powerful the Catholic Church and their hospitals and private schools are. The Jesuits, their military order that's very much into the occult, heavily connected to those hospital chains. Again, look into how we went the direction we did with cancer and radiation treatment. You'll see that back in the 50s, it was a Jesuit who led the way. And it was another Jesuit who used to tell everybody back then that cigarettes were perfectly safe. So again, these people have had a stranglehold on what the American public think is real information. And I think because of their decisions, we've been paying the price in more ways than one with our lives and also our pocketbooks. But yeah, anyway, about vitamin K, it's not just the 1 in 11,000 die if they don't get it. It's, if you look, this was actually figured out through Jewish people, through their tradition. Jews don't circumcise until the 11th day. And the reason why, well, it's not just Jews, right? A lot of people circumcised now. It's funny, I got a lot of trolls out there that accuse me of being Jewish when they're probably a lot more Jewish than I am, if you know what I'm saying. But the reason Jews figured it out about the 11th day is because that's the thing. A baby's body does not really produce vitamin K, which causes your blood to clot if you get a cut. So imagine circumcising a brand new baby and they don't have any agents in their body to stop the bleeding. They bleed out and die. So that's why they want to give the vitamin K shot in case your baby gets a cut, so they don't bleed out in the opening days. But again, I mean, as long as you're taking care of your baby and you're not, dropping it on the ground or tossing them across the room, in all likelihood, that's not going to happen. And the thing is, it's just the vitamin K itself isn't going to be dangerous to the baby, but you look at the shot and its ingredients, there's a lot of additives and preservatives in there. And, it's a reminder about the preservatives. A common one is mercury. Mercury. Again, Wednesday's named after Mercury. Do you remember when Donald Trump declared Operation Warp Speed the father of the jab? He declared it on May 15th, which is Mercuralia. Yeah, if you didn't know that, look it up. May 15th, Mercuralia every year, the day to celebrate Mercury. And again, that medical symbol that I cannot pronounce, caduceus, whatever it is. The thing with the snakes on it, the staff with the snakes, has to do with Hermes, who's related to Mercury. I lost my train of thought, but I'm ultimately making the point about Mercury. And here we are on Wednesday, as they're, doing the confirmation hearing for the Georgetown prep grad. By the way, in Gematria, Georgetown equals 129. Here we are on 1/29 with the Georgetown prep grad on the stand. Yeah. And don't forget, when he had his anti-mandate lockdown, he did it on Georgetown's birthday, January 23rd. Again, that good little Jesuit, when he gave his first speech about while he's running for president, or why he's running for president, he did it April 19th, Ignatius of Loyola Day. That's the founder of the Jesuits, who became the first superior general on that day in history. But yeah, it's just so hard to know who to trust in this day and age. There's a lot of things about Robert Kennedy that he's done in the past that I like. If you watched his testimony this morning, he seemed a lot like a politician. He was getting asked about things he's written in his book, things he said, direct quotes, and he just shrugged his shoulders and everything. He's like, I don't remember if I wrote that. Well, that's not. It's like, dude, just stand on it. Just say, yeah, I did say that. If I wrote all those things, and I'd say, yeah, I did say that. I'd be talking like today. I'd say, yeah, you know why I did say that? Because take a look around. In my generation, we got 5 shots. These kids today get 72 shots, and look at them. Fat, obese, dying, SIDS, autism, heart disease, cancer. He's like, does this look like medical advancement, or does it look like medical tyranny where you're persecuted for questioning anything? I mean, to me, it's obviously the latter. That's how we should have came out about it, not like, well, it's just like, dude, I mean, talk about just looking like a total politician. So, again, Snake Man, RFK Jr., the snake, on the first day of the year of the snake. By the way, did you see what his cousin said? She called him the Predator, which is funny because Predator equals 119, like here we are with the 119th Congress with the other Jesuit scumbag, Donald Trump, Mr. Tarot Cards. Tarot cards also equals 119. The top cards in the deck are Trump cards, 78 cards in the tarot deck. Trump reclaims the throne at age 78, as we said 4 years ago. By the way, the Laken Hope Riley Act just passed 78 days after the Superior General's birthday with Trump's signature. Just like how his first day in office, he rescinded 78 Biden-era executive orders. Biden, who also took office in 78, who was also Jesuit educated. But hold on, let me get my train of thought back. The biggest problem with being a new parent is just not getting sleep. Some days are better than others, but Ooh, last night, this one did not want to sleep. She's been mostly sleeping today. But okay, coming back to this thing. So tomorrow we're gonna have to go battle it out with the doctors, just like I had to battle it out with the doctors when she was born. They made us sign a waiver at the hospital when she was born for refusing medical advice. They brought in 3 different doctors to try and convince me to give her the vitamin K shot. Uh, and you know what though, about that experience, I talked about it before, but I'll talk about it again. I felt like I had good arguments for those doctors, and I kind of felt like they kind of back down, and conceded to what I was saying. And I was pretty much saying things just like I'm saying on this video. I was saying, you know, listen, you guys claim to not have any answers for why there's all these problems with kids, and really the only things changing in the world are the genetically modified foods and the huge expansion of the vaccine schedule. Um, I feel like I'd rather just take our chances and make sure we take good care of our daughter, put her on the healthiest diet. Um, but yeah, I will do my research on what shots, do make the most sense. If you are going to get that MMR shot, I've heard that you should wait till closer to like age 4 or 5 rather than take it at 2, when a lot of parents see the conversion of their child from a normal child to a no longer responsive, very distant, awkwardly behaving human being, which again is a testimony that God knows how many people have in this world. And by the way, the doctor, the doctor who they persecute, who did that research on the MMR shot, if you look into his research, his advice was to not get the MMR and instead wait till your child's a little bit older and get the vaccines one at a time rather than the 3-in-1. Because again, the MMR stands for measles, mumps, and rubella. You can get the shots separately rather than all at one, which can overwhelm the body, especially a young little infant. Again, they talk about that guy like he's just like the biggest trash doctor there ever was, conspiracy theorist, tinfoil hat misleader. But it's like, his research seems to be in line with a lot of people's actual life experience. And again, it was Google who took down all of the videos in 2012 for people who shared that story. And by the way, that was one of the things that prompted me to start making videos the very next year. I saw, whoa, man, they just censored an important topic. What's going to be next? And then remember, Sandy Hook happened at the end of 2012, and you had Anderson Cooper and the other losers on TV telling people that, man, we need to take down these people questioning the news. These people need to be censored. How dare they question the news? And then sure enough, they were taken down. When I lost my first channel on Elon Musk's birthday, June 28, 2017, once the Trump took office, after Trump said he'd like to censor all of his critics, it was for videos that were made back then about the Sandy Hook thing. 5 years of work, over 5,000 videos taken down from videos made years ago, with very valid information that everybody should look into. And the way they mock everybody too. Don't forget that the first person to get the vaccine for COVID, her name was Sandy Lindsay, and it was on the anniversary of Sandy Hook. Yeah, don't forget that. And for people who don't know, Sandy Hook opened in 1956. The shooting happened 56 years later in 2012. The name of the shooter, Adam Peter Lanza, equals 56 in Gematria. Just like how 56 was all over the scandemic, coronavirus equals 56, COVID vaccine equals 56, Anthony Fauci 56, the scandemic began 56 years after Trump's Jesuit education began, on and on and on. So, yeah, just getting mocked over and over. And don't forget, corona has to do with an eclipse, the light that shows around the sun, and the time of a full eclipse is a corona. And the day that Sandy Lindsay was the first vaccinated person was the day of the full solar eclipse in Argentina, the Pope's native country. Pope is another 56 word. The Society of Jesus that serves the Pope has the 56 connection, just like Washington, D.C. equals 56, which is where the Jesuits set up camp when they came to America. The snake, the serpent, is associated with deception. Mercury, which Wednesday is named after, is associated with trickery and deception. And the definition of Jesuitism from the 1828 Webster's Dictionary. For people who don't know, anytime you're looking up a definition, always type in Webster's 1828 and look at what the word was then compared to now. If you ever want to compare definitions from now to back what they were in 1828, you should do that. Type in Jesuitism, Webster's 1828, and it'll say trickery, deception, a whole bunch of not so nice words. Not an accident. Not an accident. And that's because back when this country was being founded, people knew the Jesuits were bad news. That's why founders were speaking out about the Jesuits. You know, Jefferson and Adams, most outspoken. They just happened to die together on the same day, July 4th, 1826. Like, that doesn't sound too coincidental. Nobody even blinks an eye. Now, if the authorities told them to blink an eye about it, they would. That's the problem. Everybody trusting way too much in the authorities. Again, the authorities don't have answers for you, and that's the thing people should pay attention to too. If you watch the hearing of RFK Jr. today, it wasn't anything you haven't seen before, but when they start calling, you know, conspiracy theorist and fact denier, it's like, where is your side of the argument? Sorry, sweet girl, did I wake you up? Did I wake you up? Yeah, sorry, sweetie. But it's just like, okay, where is your argument that all of these things are so safe? So, like, is it true, Mr. RFK Jr., that you said these aren't safe and effective? And then he couldn't answer those things honestly. He's like, well, it's like, I just say, well, it looks like there's a lot of evidence that they aren't. I mean, look at your COVID scan. Safe and effective. How about all the kids that their heart stopped beating or they got myocarditis? Kids, adults of all ages. You know, like I said, I got a married couple next door to me. The wife's a year younger than me. The husband's 5 years older. They both got heart problems since they got the jab. My brother-in-law's got cancer. You know, I mean, just all over the place with these stories. The stories are all over the place. My mom, her neighbor across the street, still in high school. The son who lives across the street lost his 16-year-old girlfriend. She just dropped dead. Who ever heard of a 16-year-old girl just dropping dead one day? Safe and effective? Please. But then see, people are like, well, how do you know it was that? Could have been a million different things. It's like, whoever heard of any stories like this before? 16-year-old girls dying? How many women have had heart attacks in recent years? I never heard about women having heart attacks. That was a rare phenomenon before. Now it's become pretty common. My neighbor's sisters, who I lived next to when I still lived in Seattle, they both been to the hospital multiple times, and one of the twin sisters did have a heart attack and is barely hanging in there right now. It gets annoying. It gets annoying listening to these people like act like they're holier than thou, like they got all the facts. And then RFK Jr., I mean, act like a man and stand on your word and show that you meant what you said. Doesn't look like he meant anything that he said. They quoted from his book. He's like, I don't know if I wrote that. Weak. I mean, I can relate to that in a way. I wrote 2 big books, and somebody might quote and say, you wrote this in your book. Do you remember that that's what you were? So I can't remember every word in my book, but I would know if it was along the lines of something I wrote or said. So hold on here. Hold on here. Hold on. Uh-oh. Hold on here. Hold on here. I don't know if your baby's like ours, but when she has slobber all over her face, it's like she likes it, and she's like, stop wiping it off. I'm going to put it back on there. Isn't that right, cutie? Okay. Oh, no. She's very disgruntled that I just sat down. What I was going to do is drop a link for any other parents out there. For any other parents out there Let me know. Are there any parents out there that never gave their kids any shots? Are there some that just gave them some shots? Because tomorrow we got to go battle it out with the doctor about keeping her shot free for the time being. Um, we've already been told in advance that if we don't accept the shots tomorrow, we're going to have to come with a exemption letter if we ever want to be seen by the clinic again. And I'm sure that that's very doable, but again, it's just kind of like the way you're bullied into doing things. And yeah, you know, right now, all I can tell you is we have a very healthy, mostly patient girl, and haven't had any issues. Um, my mom said when I was a baby, I used to always get really bad earaches, and she had to take me into the clinic all the time for that. And it looks like the earache thing is probably a side effect from the pokey dokes. Um, so again, I mean, just all kinds of reasons to avoid the jabs, as far as I can tell, as much as possible. Um, I forget what they said was going around. There was another shot they were trying to get us to for her to take that when she was born. They were saying that it's going around in the town, and if the baby catches it, it has a very high chance of fatality. It's like they were trying to scare us into it, and we're like, I think we'll pass for now. I think we'll pass. So far, everything's been all good. But yeah, the guy who just came in, I'm going to drop the link again. The guy who just came in here, I'd rather not bring on the stream. He tends to take it full retard every time he comes on here. Is there anybody else out there? I also know he doesn't have any kids. Like, he's still trying to figure out that the earth isn't flat. Parvo's the thing for dogs, right? Parvo's the thing for dogs. I don't know if that is BS because my neighbor told me that their dog died from parvo. So, but it is weird. It is a weird thing. I know it is something they vaccinate the animals for. About the comment about not having any kids because you're afraid of the future. Like I said, man, if there's not good people raising good kids, there's no hope for the future. But yeah, there is also definitely a risk to bringing children into this corrupted world where, again, evil, tyrannical people make the rules and the decisions and the policies. And as time goes on, you have less and less freedom to object. Darren's mocking what I said. Well, Darren, I'm just saying that my neighbor recently did have their dog die, and supposedly the cause of death was parvo. Uh, I guess it could be a common medical explanation when something else is going on, but clearly something weird is going on with, health threats to dogs. So, all right, here's Big Mike. Mike's got children. What's up, Big Mike?
Hey, what's going on, Zach? How you doing, man?
Hold on, let me make sure I don't have the audio settings messed up. Oh, we're good. All right, go ahead, Big Mike.
Uh,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. It was like echoing for a little bit. I don't know what happened.
Maybe my too high. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can hear you.
What do you do for your children, Mike?
Just hold on. I think it's like echoing back. I don't know what's my mic is. I don't know if it's my mic or.
Do you have your YouTube video on and the StreamYard link open?
Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna back out and I'll go back in.
If you have YouTube open, you got to close that and just stay in the StreamYard. Okay. Yeah, again, what I'll remind about RFK Jr. and Trump and Biden is they all have dead ex-wives, and they're all Jesuit educated. I mean, usually women outlast men, so what are the odds of that? All right, what's up, Big Mike?
Yeah, just like I said, it just help my son. He's good. I just he's had a couple shots, but I mean he hasn't. He's been okay. He's just,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Mike, can you hear me?
yeah. I don't know. It's like echoing. It's like I can't. It's like a feedback. I don't know. It's
You sound good on our end. We don't hear the echo. Maybe if you just want to mute yours and tell the story, we hear you just fine if that helps you.
okay. Hold on one second. Let me see.
I'm gonna have to do a. Oh boy, I don't know if that's coming through on the mic. I'm gonna have to do a diaper change here in a minute. Oh boy, woo! Oh boy, do you know that we're on camera right now? Oh my goodness, holy smokes! Well, you guys, it might be. I guess that might be the end of the stream right there. They got to go when they got to go. So, woo, woo. Okay. Well, anyway, I got most of what I wanted to say out there. I think she's letting us know it's time to wrap it up. But I did want to hear from Big Mike real quick. We got 5 minutes to clean the diaper. All right, Mike, we're ready.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh yeah, because I didn't realize I had the YouTube video playing on my other thing, so I had to like exit out of it. That's why it was echoing.
There we go. So, what shots did you end up giving your little one?
Um, I'd have to ask his mom. I personally don't remember because it's been so long. But I'd have to ask his mom. But as far as like he hasn't had any like side effects from it. But it was like years ago. The last time he had a shot was years ago. But I think it was like a flu. I think it was just like flu shot or whatever it was. It was like nothing. It wasn't one of those crazy shots that they tell you to get. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
but I mean, he's been doing fine. He's 10 now, so he's sprouting right up there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. When I met him, he was a good, healthy boy. So.
yeah, he's a good boy when he wants to be. Sometimes he doesn't listen, but I gotta kind of keep him in line a little bit. He gets a little rowdy. Logan, come here. Come here. You want to say hi? You remember Zach, right? Come here. Come here. And say hi.
Hi.
Hey, big man. Yeah. A few years
You
older
remember?
since I saw you last. Looking good. You been good to Dad?
Mm-hmm.
So you
Very
talk.
good. Very good.
So you tell me playing sports.
Playing sports.
What's your favorite sport?
Football.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. Your dad throwing you passes?
So yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes. Okay. Got to throw more passes, Dad.
Yeah, gotta get the arm going,
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
So,
Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
but
Well, thanks for checking in, buddy.
yeah, no problem, Zach. No problem.
All right,
No.
Mike. You have a good day with your family. All
Yeah, you too.
right, take care, man.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
See you. All right, and for being a good sport and hanging out, he has something to say. Okay, what is it?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, so I'm going to try to be private, but okay, someone very close to me, uh, like she had to get surgery when she was a brand new baby. Someone very close to me, if you catch my drift. And the doctors said that they needed vitamin K for the reason that you're talking about like your blood doesn't coagulate till you're 8. So she got it. She got the vitamin K because it's just important apparently, right? And then went ahead with the surgery and it didn't even work. So they said that it was going to do this thing, it didn't work. So that the person that's close to me had to get a blood transfusion. It didn't coagulate the blood at all.
Yeah, that's the other risk is sometimes the thing they want to do, it has side effects, but it doesn't do what it's supposed to in terms of the benefit you're looking for. So yeah.
Yeah, and then this person close to me is now allergic to peanuts, and
Yeah.
that's the only thing that the people close to me have ever got in their body. One of the people close to me. Yeah,
By the
I want
way,
to be.
about peanut allergies, the least likely people to have peanut allergies in the world are people who live in Israel. And something that's interesting about that is that in Israel, it's a tradition that when your baby's 1 month old, you give them a snack that involves ground up peanut dust. So they actually get peanuts in their system at a very young age. That goes against the common medical advice where you're not really supposed to feed your baby any solid foods until they approach 6 months. But that is a tradition in Israel, and it seems to somehow counter the peanut allergies. So I was actually explaining, I was like, should we try her out with some ground up peanuts just in case? But so far, no shots. So I'm thinking she's going to turn out okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then for when your doctor talks to you about it, the best approach I've heard is to just be like, don't make them think that you're not going to. Make them think that you're going to, and then, but just say I'm not going to do it, just not today, and then just keep doing that. Because then
That's
they
not the
don't.
way I'm going to do it. I'm going to be real straightforward about exactly what I'm thinking, and I want to hear them give me a better argument. So,
Okay, but in that case, you might set yourself up because like they have a computer system, right?
well, then I
So
just
you
can't
might.
go back to the doctor. We'll just take care of her at home, and if she has a medical emergency, we'd obviously have to go to the hospital, and then we have to see what that's all about. But
They should leave. I don't know about your state, but they should leave you alone. Like once it's kind of established, like they won't bother you. I don't know about Washington, like if you're still in Washington, but
okay, well,
they
I
seem to not
appreciate
bother you.
the story. I got to get off because she just took a big old number 2, so we got to do a little diaper change over here. But thank you, Plain Decoded. You take care,
Yeah,
buddy.
say bye.
Okay. Even though I'm always not so nice to him, he is a good sport and comes back anyway. All right, you guys. Yeah, I do got to change the diaper. Time to be a responsible parent. But yeah, I just want to get on and talk about those things. And if you parents do come around across this later, we can pick up the discussion another time, or you guys can leave a comment. And assuming Google doesn't delete your comment, how dare you leave that medical misinformation? For all you guys who complain about comments getting deleted, that's what Google does. It's all part of keeping this channel low in the algorithm. Take away the comments, take away the likes, keep the views minimalized. But yeah, anyway, time to go change that dirty diaper. All right, guys, have a good rest of your day. And until next time.